Yo, yo, yo. You are now rocking with your man David Young, also known as Lyricist. Welcome to Coffee and Convo. I hope you guys got your cup of coffee and is ready to sit back, chill, and listen to another episode based on positivity and motivation. I know sometimes in these episodes I come a little bit harder, but it's necessary because at the end of the day, I want everybody to understand that, you know, um, it's all coming from a good place. I want to see people pull things from these podcasts and see exactly where they could be, you know, if they give themselves the chance. And some people just don't give themselves a chance. You know, um, a topic I want to touch on today is the process, trusting the process. As cliche as it may sound, and you know, overused and worn out as the terminology may be, you have to trust the process, no matter what. You may find yourself in a position where it is, you know, so much shit happening, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm gonna make it past this day. And, I've been waiting for this to happen, I've been waiting for that to happen. It's taking so long. And, you find yourself being discouraged. It's okay. It's normal. You will find yourself discouraged in those situations, but you have to give yourself the opportunity to go through the process. You have to trust that along the way, things are going to become easier. You are going to find a way to get to that next step or to complete that process. It's like when I tell these entrepreneurs that's out here, they're taking a risk, they're putting everything out there, and they want instant gratification. I have to remind them there is no instant gratification at times. Sometimes you have to trust the process and allow things to work itself out, even though it may put you in a bad spot. That bad spot is only temporary as long as you have a heart of perseverance. Being able to push through no matter what and allow yourself to stay the course. The hardest thing to do is to stay the course because you come across so many trials, so many tribulations, so many hurdles, so many obstacles. Are you going to cry about it? Or are you going to let those things strengthen you? Are you going to cry about it? Or are you going to let that toughen your resolve? I've always let those things toughen my resolve because it's not the easiest thing to do, to trust the process, because at that time it's truly out of your hand. You got to let that stuff work itself out. And that's the part that scares people the most, is that they don't allow themselves to take a back seat because they want to have control. When you're a control-oriented person and you want to have control of every aspect, every facet of whatever you do, it sucks to just take a back seat and trust the process. I've seen people lose their shit over trusting the process. When is it going to happen? It's taking so long. It should never take this long. But when is success involved, when is the rest of your life involved, it could take time. Okay, I got a story. Okay, here's my story. I've been getting back into real estate, and we all know when you're a real estate investor, certain things takes time. People sign the contracts, you get it over to the title, you set the title date, the closing date, and you're waiting for the deal to go through. Sometimes you find yourself dealing with hurdles, the expected hurdles. You get to the table, seller has seller's remorse, sometimes the buyer has buyer's remorse, and it kind of stalls the deal. And you're in the middle like, okay, where the hell are we going to get this done? There's a lot of money on the table. Why is it slowing us up so much? It's slowing you up so much because in that moment, there is a obstacle. Everybody has to get past their personal obstacles. The seller is having regrets of possibly selling and thinking about what they could have done with their property. The buyer's like, okay, if I buy it, and my plans don't work out, I could lose a lot of money. You're in the middle like, if this deal doesn't work out, I'm not going to get paid. It is normal. So in that situation, you have to trust that everybody's going to come to the final conclusion of, we have to get this deal done. Once that happened for me, my deals have been closing like crazy. The seller feels good, the buyer feels good, and I feel better because the deal is going to close. I had to trust the process. All I could do is provide them with information and tell them how this is going to improve their lives, their situation, and let the process take over from there. Because all I can do is give the information. The rest is up to them at that time. The rest is up to them in that moment. I can't control everything. It's not meant for me to control everything. So I had to accept that that was a situation that was out of my control. And once I took my hands off of it, took a step back, have a little faith in my abilities, have a little faith in what I've done, I allowed the process to go through and work naturally. And what happened? I've closed some of the biggest deals in the last 12 months. I've closed some of the biggest deals in the last 2 months. Some of my bigger deals happened in February and January. And I'm working on another one now. But I had to trust the process. And now that I hit my stride, I'm confident in my abilities and I know that things is going to fall into place. I took a step back because it's like, as an entrepreneur, you have to really, really become one with yourself, and you have to really, really understand that you have to trust the process, especially when you're dealing with something that, you're using other people's money to, towards your investments. That's investment 101. Try to spend as less of your money as possible to get deals done. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not, hustling anybody. That's just the nature of the business. So when you're real estate investing and you're not buying those properties yourself, you're convincing other people to buy those properties for you. And then you find yourself in a position where it is you're able to move forward and get a deal done. One moment, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. But you understand that it is necessary to sit back, take a breath, and trust in the process. You've done the work. You've done it. Some people are like, man, how the hell can you be so patient? You have no idea how unpatient I really am. I'm just keeping it to myself. I do pretty good at hiding that I'm not that patient when it comes to shit like this. But also, a side of me is I love this shit. I love it. I love being in a situation where it is, I have to go out, do the work, salvage the deal, make it happen. I love making it happen. I can make it happen and still trust the process because I'm actively working in that opportunity. I'm not pushing, I'm working. I'm doing different things. So, whatever I can contribute to the situation to make things easier for all parties involved, I can still do that and allow the process to go through and not force it. Some people will try to, oh yeah, this really has to get done. It has to be done by this date. If it's not done this day, then this is going to happen. That's forcing it. I'm like, hey, we got everything in place. Whenever you're ready to get things done, we're going to get it done. And, at that time, once we get it done, then everybody's going to be in a good spot. And then they'll feel comfortable knowing that, okay, wow, there's a possibility that I may be holding this process up. So let me step up and do what I have to do to get us to the finish line. They're going to be motivated to get it done. Both sides, if they feel like they're holding up the process of, whatever, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, let's get this done. So no one has to wait, and I've dragged this out too long. Trust the process. I've cashed a ton of checks just trusting the process. I've gotten a lot of business trusting the process. Here's another story. So, with my home repair and maintenance company that I own, things slowed down because of the company. I'm not going to put their name out there that I was working with to get my leads. They changed everything with how they do it. I mean, it went from being a gravy deal to where it is, we were getting leads and we'll pay for the leads at a bulk price, and it was a great bulk price. Now, whatever the bulk price is the actual lead price. So it slowed my business. So I had to come up with a plan to still do business and not suffer so much. But we lost a lot of business for 4 or 5 months. So I had to plan that out, and I had to figure it out and understand the new system. I had to trust the process of learning. I had to learn their new system and figure out how to make it work for me. Now, those leads are still extremely expensive, but if I'm able to get quality jobs out of it, those quality jobs pay for those leads. So it's trusting the process. So I wasn't happy about it, and what it cost me over that time period. But I had to go through the hard part of it. I had to go through the hard knocks to restructure my business and how we got our business and move forward and continue to grow. That business has been strong for 6.5, 7 years. And this last few months of those years became rough. So I can say that I was proud of the process I had to go through in the beginning to make that business successful. And it kind of took me back when everything seemed as if it was falling apart. I had to think on things. I had to go through the stresses. I had to fight those inevitable feelings of defeat to make myself see that this is just a bump in the road. This is just an obstacle, trial, tribulation, hurdle. You have to stay the course. When others is telling you to move on, move forward, do something different, you have to stay the course. You have to trust the process. I've put so much into that business. Why would I give up on it now? Because certain things have changed. It doesn't mean that I can't get business anymore. I just have to change the way that I do business. I have to adjust to what's given to me. I made those adjustments, and we're rolling again. So that's 2 of my businesses that had obstacles and hurdles that I had to adjust. I had to pivot quickly. But I had to allow my adjustments to work. I had to trust the process. I had to understand that those decisions that I made in those moments allowed me to adjust to a position where it is, I'm smarter now. I've evolved. And now I'm evolving my businesses to a place to where it is, they can't lose anymore. They can only grow from here. I think we've dealt with the worst of the worst. I think we've dealt with the toughest situations. Now I'm going to trust the process of evolution for each one of those businesses and not have to worry about if it's going to be a down period again because I've seen the worst of those periods and I trust my abilities to adjust in those periods and allow for things to happen the way it needs to. It's never easy. It's never easy. And you have to accept that it's never easy. Embrace those challenges. Embrace those trials and tribulations. Get yourself prepared for those obstacles and those hurdles. And don't fall behind in the process. You have to move along with the process. You have to trust in yourself and trust in your abilities. Because I would have never been able to come out of that situation mentally intact if I didn't trust myself. Yeah, I went through the stresses. And sometimes the stresses cause other health issues. But you find strength in that. I think I'm stronger than I ever been. And I will continue to trust in those processes. I will continue to trust in those moments. I want to allow for myself to be in a position where it is I'm falling behind the 8 ball and I don't know what to do. I believe I know what to do. I believe in making the adjustments, trusting my decisions when making those adjustments, and following the process, trusting the process. I hope you guys gained something from this podcast today, this episode. And, I look forward to giving more of my stories and let you guys see that no matter what, you can pull motivation from this and create your own stories. Be proud of what you're doing. Stay the course. Trusting yourself. No matter what. I thank you guys for checking out the Coffee and Convo podcast. Until the next episode, have a great day.